It's Rob and Sandra from My Wife the Dietitian, and this is Nutrition Nuggets.
Oh, yeah. And this is a good little nugget.
What's that?
The little cucumbers that you can put in the lunch boxes.
Oh, the little one. They're new, right? Like they didn't always used to have little cucumbers.
I guess it's a heritage brand, or they're bred to be small.
Bred to be small. Sorry, like some breeds of dogs, apartment-sized dogs. These are apartment-sized cucumbers.
So funny.
So not everyone has a big fridge. You can't fit those big honking cucumbers in every fridge. So they said we better look after these people and breed some small cucumbers.
That's true. We just got a cucumber from our neighbors who have a garden, and it was
like the size of my arm.
It was like
literally
a baseball bat.
It was massive.
It was massive.
Well, thank you.
Well, not that long, but that wide. A baseball bat wide, I mean.
Yeah, no, it was like a limb.
Mm-hmm.
It was massive. It looked like a zucchini, like a zucchini,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I thought it was a zucchini at first.
No,
You're right.
Crazy huge.
Yeah. Yeah, and actually with cucumbers, sometimes they can get too big and then be bitter and like overripe.
Yeah, like they don't taste as good. They're impressive. You're like, whoa, look at that thing. Like a pumpkin, you get those massive pumpkins, but yeah, you lose the flavor, I think.
Yeah. And one reason we're doing this episode is because so many people have a lot of cucumbers in their garden, and you know how they grow just as this vine, and there are just so many of them.
Yeah. And then you've got the cucumbers that have like all the prickles all over them that they use for dill pickles, right?
Yeah, like the pickling cucumbers.
Is that a field cucumber?
Yeah, field pickling. Then there's the English cucumbers that have the kind of the more tender skin. They're not as harsh, like they're not as crunchy. Well, they're crunchy, but they're not as woody.
Yeah,
maybe
that's a good word for it. So I'm taking it we're talking about cucumbers today.
We are.
Okay.
We're going to do 11 uses for different ways in recipes for using cucumbers.
Perfect.
And also a little bit about the nutritional components of cucumbers and the health benefits.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew there was so much to know about all these things?
I know.
I didn't think we'd be able to like talk about cucumbers for,
a whole episode. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll see how we do here.
Well, and you use them too. So I'm going to ask how you eat them.
All right.
Anyways, they are low in calories because there's a lot of water in cucumbers.
Yeah, that makes sense. But high in fiber, probably, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially with the
skin on it.
Yes.
Okay.
And also
the seeds.
Yes.
Yeah, they're easy seeds to eat though. They're kind of soft and mushy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right. With therapeutic diets, people on low fiber or low residue or no seeds and skins, then they're always questioning, what about cucumbers? And it depends on what's going on for them. But like you said, the seeds are pretty soft and easy to chew up and digest.
Yeah, they're almost like gelatinous. Do you know what I mean? They're, like soft and watery.
Yeah, just like the cucumber. You can't really freeze them.
We tried that once where it froze in the back of the fridge or something. Yeah, they get kind of weird.
Yeah, because there's so much water in them.
So much water, yeah.
But in one of the uses that I'm going to say, you can actually put them in smoothies.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I was just wondering this, as you said that, I was wondering if you'd be able to use it in like some kind of fancy drink that you get in a bar with a piece of frozen cucumber as a
garnish?
Yeah, sort of a garnish / ice cube kind of thing. Wonder if they'd taste different.
Oh, I think there are some drinks like that. Like, I'm not totally positive, but mojitos maybe, or
yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like a summery kind of drink.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We don't actually know. We're just putting it out there. So feel free to try it and let us know how that works out for you.
Right. And also one of the other uses, we're just totally jumping ahead here, but is the water, like just, glass of ice water with slices of cucumber.
Exactly.
So hydrating and fresh. But other than being high in water, it does have vitamin C and vitamin A and vitamin K.
Okay.
So some of the important vitamins. And there's minerals in cucumber too, if you can believe it.
Really?
Yeah. Potassium and magnesium.
Oh, wow.
And actually, we did an episode with magnesium. It was Nutrition Nuggets 12. And then the potassium was nutrition nuggets 8.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I think we've done them both.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, high in both of those. High in those, or they just have some?
Yeah, they have some good minerals.
Awesome.
To add to your nutrition. And with the hydration one, we did episode 28 way back last year on hydration and how to get more fluids in the diet and more hydrating fruits and vegetables. And one in particular, cucumber and watermelon are 2.
Oh yeah, super, super wet, high water content. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they do have antioxidants. So that's another thing that helps with their nutritional profile.
In the skin, do you think?
No, more in the
like in the meat of the cucumber, whatever the fruit, the non-skin part of the cucumber.
I think it's just the whole cucumber.
Okay.
They're like types of carotenoids, like beta carotene.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So, and that actually makes it a little bit anti-inflammatory because it helps to neutralize free radicals. It's got the flavonoids, the quercetin.
Okay.
I've heard of that one.
I have, yeah.
And then, there's phytonutrients. So the same thing that's in soy foods, lignans.
Okay.
In flaxseed. And so they're pretty nutritious for what you think, right? Because the cucumber doesn't seem like there's a lot of substance there.
Yeah. I know you don't think it's packed full of a whole bunch of goodness, but other than it's tasty and fresh, like refreshing. But yeah, there is some substance to it.
Absolutely. And the potassium that I mentioned, it helps to change that balance of potassium-sodium balance. And we talked about that in Nutrition Nuggets 8 that I mentioned.
Okay.
And so that's a good thing because most people have too much sodium or too much salt in their diet. So having cucumbers on a regular basis as a snack or in salads, and we're going to talk about that next, can counteract that.
Perfect.
So because they're low in calories, as I mentioned, and high in water, they're good for weight management and also for a good blood sugar control for people that are struggling to keep their blood sugars more balanced, that maybe have diabetes or prediabetes or hypoglycemia. Cucumbers are a good thing to eat.
Okay. There you go. That's good to know.
Yeah. And they're good for skincare.
And like putting on your eyeballs at night?
There we go. That's actually one of
the
the uses, the last use I was going to mention, but we could talk about it right now, is why do you think people do that?
Well, all the things you just said, I was thinking about, like when you said they're anti-inflammatory, I keep thinking inflammatory means you're like getting big, like you're inflamed.
Well, yeah, your eyelids are puffy.
Is that correct then?
Yeah, it helps to reduce the puffiness.
Okay, that's right. That word confuses me, but
and the redness. That's kind of like, a bit inflammatory, like you've got inflammation, like micro-inflammation happening, after sleeping, or if you're tired and your eyelids are really puffy, and maybe your eyeballs have bloodshot eyes, so actually
from one of those nights.
Right? One of those nights.
Too many mojitos.
Too many cucumbers in your drink.
Yeah.
You're funny.
Yeah. I thought it was just from like the water content of the cucumber, but there's actually minerals and properties other than the water that are helping as well. Hey?
Mother Nature's amazing.
It really is.
It's like so awesome.
I don't know if Mother Nature intended the cucumber to be used for that.
To put on your eyes.
But maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
It's great, eh? It's so good. All right. So what are 11 different uses in foods and recipes? So we mentioned the last one, number one. Or
we
the
gave
last
you
one.
that one away.
Yeah, the eyes, putting them on the eyes. But I just had some a minute ago. That's the number one is snack.
I like cutting them like with my cheese and crackers. When I say cheese and crackers, that's just kind of like a generic term for my snack. It could be like cucumber and crackers. It could be like some kind of, I sometimes put hummus or whatever, but
kimchi sometimes.
Yeah, kind of whatever.
I come into the kitchen and whoo, the smell in the kitchen and that kimchi. Yeah. I mean, it's so good for us, and it's a staple in our fridge. But when you open the jar, it's like, whoa, that is pungent.
It is, yeah. But cucumbers are good because they're a nice contrast to the sort of dryness of the cracker.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit of the salty seasoning on the cracker, and then the freshness and moistness of the cucumber. It's a good combination.
Yeah, and they're actually good with cottage cheese, which we talked about last Nutrition Nuggets.
Yeah.
They are actually good because of that contrast. I mean, they're hydrating and watery. They're bland, but so is cottage cheese. But that is something that I've put together.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So snacking on cucumbers either with just vinegar or on its own, like just a baby cucumber, or just sliced up, or however you like to cut them, or on your cheese and crackers, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Those little ones are great for lunches, actually. I mean, it's probably why they designed them with that in mind, I'm sure.
Totally. Yeah. Lunchbox hero.
It'd be a bit intimidating if you pulled out a full-size cucumber out of your lunchbox. I think it'd be just a bit awkward. So the little ones are a bit more appropriate.
Yeah. And it's hard to eat, right? Like you want to kind of cut something up, just like, and that's the thing. I think the problem people have with some vegetables and fruits is that they're not easy to eat without getting messy and to cut up and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they're more user-friendly. Same with like the little baby tomatoes and the,
Yeah, they're more convenient.
Yep. The little baby carrots they make too, same. It's just easy to pack your lunch with those.
That's true. Yeah, because we're coming into that season, back to school. So we'll probably do an episode on that soon. Now, the second one is salads. So what do you put in a salad that has cucumber?
What do I put in a salad that has cucumber?
Mm-hmm.
Like what else do I put in?
Yes.
Well, whatever's in the fridge, but it's really good with peppers.
Yes.
And tomatoes, and well, you can do the Greek salad thing, the feta cheese and black olives and lots of cucumbers.
Red onion.
Cut in chunks, not like circles.
Yes. Delicious. Slice, dice, chop, however you want to cut those cucumbers up.
They taste different though. I mean, and this is me being really particular about food again, but if you think about cutting it lengthwise, there's going to be more skin on it than, well, you're going to notice the skin on it a lot more than if you cut it in a circle.
Interesting.
Yeah. Same with eating an orange or anything that's got peel on it. There's certain ways that you're going to notice the fruit more than the skin.
And the texture.
Well, yeah, the texture of it.
Yeah.
So, well, in cutting it lengthwise too, you get more of that wet middle part.
Yeah.
Than you do if you cut it in a circle.
I think I like it lengthwise better, but I'll eat them anyway. I love cucumbers either way.
Oh yeah, they're all good.
They're so good. And as I mentioned before, this is number 3 is smoothies. Like, so just cutting them up. Usually, I guess if you have a really good blender, you could do it with the skin, but without the skin would be better for a smoothie.
Yeah, I would think so.
And I think people do juice cucumbers, so then it would take the pulp out.
Right.
But you can add them in you could kind of have like a fresh type smoothie that like fresh tasting, like really fresh, like celery and cucumber and maybe mango and.
Yeah, for sure.
Dessert tofu, yogurt, that kind of thing, banana.
Yeah, just experiment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, different ingredients. And we did a whole episode on homemade smoothies.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Months ago, I think.
Oh, was it? It seems like a couple weeks ago.
I know,
but
it was,
yeah,
I think,
you're
the
right.
start of the summer. But yeah. And then I already mentioned this one too. Number 4 is in a glass of water, sliced up cucumber.
So it just adds a little bit more punch to your water.
Yeah.
Not a ton of flavor, but all the minerals and antioxidants and things that you'd mentioned, right?
Mother Nature's mineral water.
Yeah, right. If you're going to drink water, you might as well throw some of that stuff in it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to buy all the fancy drinks that are in a can and create waste. You just have some water with some...
Put that extra money into your own pocket instead of supporting some big corporation who's just trying to milk you.
Right. Okay, next one. Sandwiches and wraps.
Oh, yeah. And this is where you're cutting them lengthwise. I like that.
Yes.
Because, I mean, in my mind, everything's kind of long that you're putting in your wrap anyway. So it kind of it's like a long slice of cucumber or sushi if you make your own sushi, which is actually quite easy.
You're skipping way ahead, but that's perfect.
Okay,
that's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, anyway.
No, that's good.
All of those things, they work well cutting them lengthwise.
Yeah, that's true. For sure.
It folds easier than little circles.
That's right. And you can use it. Sandwiches can be, a variety of different ways. You could do like lettuce wraps. You could do regular bread, like whole wheat bread, or like a grainy sprouted grain bread. You could do wraps, like any kind of.
We used to make like bagels.
Yes.
With sliced cucumbers, cut like round slices, thinly sliced cucumbers, loaded up, and then some salt and pepper on top, and a little bit of basil. And then some with tomato. It's so good, so fresh tasting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It's simple. Like that's
and
all
peanut butter, actually.
That's all it was. There was no mayonnaise or anything on it. It was just cucumber and a little salt and pepper. It's so good.
Oh yeah. And then the same thing with peanut butter as the base, and then the cucumber.
Did we do that?
Oh yeah, I've done that a lot, and even maybe a little bit of onion, like chopped up.
Oh
but
yeah.
It's just that contrast with the peanut butter. Like you think of peanut butter and jam, and it's kind of a wet, moist way to make the peanut butter not so sticky.
True, yeah.
And so cucumber has that hydrating. It gives it some nice texture and fluid, like a little bit softer and moister taste.
Yeah, it adds the wetness that the peanut butter needs to be less sticky.
Yeah, and refreshing. Wow, it's so good. And then with basil too. Oh, delicious. So good.
I'm getting hungry.
I know. And then pickles are just a natural extension of the cucumber. It's just, pickling baby cucumbers.
Yeah, a little trick that we learned. If you have a jar of pickles or a jar of like pickled eggs or anything like that, once it's empty, just cut up some baby cucumbers and throw it back into the juice that's left. And after a few days, you'll get, it won't be like 100% as strong as the original ones, but it'll be 75%. Like it's still getting some flavor and some pickling, and you might as well just use that juice instead of running it down the drain.
Well, I know that's the thing that I don't like is like all the, the waste, like throwing good stuff away. So,
and then buying more.
Yeah.
So if you have your own cucumbers.
Yeah.
Might as well, right?
Exactly.
We do that with our hard-boiled eggs too.
Mm-hmm.
We have chickens, so we're getting lots of eggs, and yeah, it's just nice to have that variety. And like we said, just use up those empty jars that are full of all that pickling juice.
Yeah. It's totally a DIY thing, but anyways, it's a homesteading type of.
Yeah, it works.
Mm-hmm.
So might as well. Like I said, keep that money in your pocket.
Yeah. The next one is cold soup as gazpacho.
Oh, my mom used to make that. I liked it. I think the first time I had it, I just thought cold soup, weird. Like it just seemed wrong. But after I tried it, it was so good. It's just really refreshing. It's like a liquid salad, which sounds odd, but it's really tasty.
Could you make some?
Can I make some?
I
mean, I can do anything, but will I make some?
I'm just thinking that'd be great for us to try that in this house.
Well, we could look into that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like we are at a lack of ingredients. We got that massive cucumber. Maybe that'd be a good use for it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, and there'll be more because of the harvest time and end of summer.
Exactly.
So the next thing is cucumber salsa, and it's kind of similar to the gazpacho, but a little bit more spicy if it's, got some tomato and red onion and cilantro, lime, jalapeno.
It's kind of like a relish, I guess, hey?
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. I'm sure I've had that.
Yeah.
That would be tasty.
Exactly. That is like a relish.
But a little bit more involved. I think relish is pretty like one ingredient kind of thing.
What's the ingredient?
Well, it's cucumbers.
You know what? The funny thing, relish was not on my list, and I love relish. And that's so funny because I guess we'll call it salsa in this, but relish is more common. Like people know what relish is, I think.
You know what's funny?
What?
If you'd asked me that question yesterday, I don't know if I would have known the answer.
Really?
I only thought cucumbers because we're talking about cucumbers. I never thought of relish as being cucumbers.
Well, it's pickles.
It is pickles,
Yeah.
but it's just it doesn't taste like pickles because it's sweetened.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's so little
That's
that I
funny.
never occurred to me that that's so funny.
It's so funny because I was just thinking there was this, on the radio, sometimes they have like the call-in shows with the DJ, and they said, what's your favorite condiment? And they did like this survey of, I don't know, a lot of people. Like it was a lot. And the number one was...
Relish?
No.
Oh, okay. Ketchup.
Yes.
And then mustard.
Yes.
And then relish.
Relish was so far down the list, it didn't even barely register.
I don't think any of those would be even on my list.
Oh, I love relish.
I do, but it's not my, I mean, I would much rather have salsa.
Oh, see, you're just, you
Salsa.
don't even make the...
No, salsa, hot sauce, all those kind of things. Like, yeah.
And I think it was for a hot dog, I believe, that they were like specifying the food that you put them on. Anyways, it was an interesting quiz.
Funny.
Yeah. But I was surprised that relish was so far down the list because I thought, oh, it really makes it tangy and I like it.
Yeah, a little bit of a crunch.
Yeah. All right, we're almost done. 2 more here. So the next one is, you mentioned it already, sushi. So cucumber rolls.
Yeah, or whatever you put in your sushi, you can always add cucumber to it because it just gives that fresh, moist kind of taste to it.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking cucumber rolls, and sushi fits under that category because you can do a cucumber roll that's not sushi. You can do it with a wrap. You know, you put a wrap with like cream cheese and then slices of cucumber.
Right.
Maybe you could put turkey in there, or you could do avocado, like similar to a California roll, but maybe it's with a wrap or a different type of bread.
Right. It adds such a nice element
Yeah.
to whatever you're using it for.
Yeah, it just makes it very like fresher, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then there's those, do you remember those zucchini noodles? Like you can make spaghetti with zucchini, you know, with those,
You grate them into long. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do the same thing with cucumbers.
I was going to say, you probably can, right? Like use it.
Like a spiraling thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can put that on a salad or you can have it as a topping, like a garnish on a fancy meal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that'd be tasty.
And then that gives it some freshness and a little bit of crunch.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the last one we've mentioned is the put it on eyes to help reduce the puffiness and the redness. And that's a hydrating thing for the skin and for your eyes.
Yeah. Love that. Awesome. Well, that's a good list. Very timely with harvest season, I'm sure. People have got loads of cucumbers if they're growing them in their garden. It's not one of those things that you get a few of.
No.
If you're growing cucumbers, you got a lot of cucumbers. So it's nice to have some ideas of what you can do with them.
Yeah, exactly. And give them away to friends. That's always nice too.
Yeah.
Or your neighbors.
I like those cucumber salads, like the Greek salad, because it's a good use of a lot of, like most salads are just lettuce with a few things sprinkled in. But this is like a lot of cucumbers and a lot of peppers. So you're getting, like if you have a lot of those things, it's a good way to use a lot at once.
Yes.
And it's such a fresh tasting salad. And it won't get limp if you leave it in your fridge for a few days the way a lettuce salad will. You know, like it'll keep a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing those tips, ideas,
You're welcome.
cucumber tricks, all those things. What are we talking about next week?
We're talking about foods to help with hot flushes.
Oh, hot flushes.
Yes, many people go through periods of their life where they get hot flushes, including men on hormone deprivation therapy for prostate cancer treatment. And then women going through menopause is the more common demographic that people know about.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's the one thing you think of when you hear menopause is hot flushes.
Yeah. And then men that are having they've had prostate cancer treatment and then they are having these hormone injections to reduce the likelihood of the cancer coming back. Talk about male menopause or andropause because it's androgen.
Oh, interesting.
Different type of hormone, but it's similar to estrogen and progesterone. So yeah, we're going to talk about foods to help with hot flushes.
Okay. Sounds like it'll be a good one.
Yeah.
Awesome. So that'll be next Monday. And in the meantime, you can check out our website. We've got new stuff coming up on there all the time. That's mywifethedietitian.com.
Yeah, we have a great article on van life when we did last week with Dominique, and it was a great article she put up on the blog. And so we've got that linked in the show notes from last week's episode.
Lots of good pictures on there too. So
yeah, she's a graphic artist. So it helps because her eye with photography is just amazing.
Well, in the places you go in a van when you're traveling, you see some neat parts of the world. So yeah, it was fun scrolling through her Instagram page and just seeing her journeys. It's neat. Yeah, so check that out. And you can email us your questions too. If you have questions about various things, including topics for the show or anything like that, you can send us an email at mywifetherd@gmail.com.
And it's nice. Sorry, I really like the questions we're getting from listeners. Really appreciate it. We've gotten some really comprehensive, excellent questions. And there's one, we're going to address it next week about the ketchup.
Yeah. Some different ideas we have for people that have asked us questions. So we will get back to you. And you can also check out our social media pages. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube as well, all under My Wife the Dietitian. And please rate and review the show. That really helps us keep things going here. So if you can do that, that would be amazing. We'd really appreciate that.
Good. I look forward to next week, Rob.
Yeah, sounds good. We will talk to everyone next week. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks for joining us today on My Wife the Dietitian. If you like what you heard, don't be shy. Leave us a comment or review, and be sure to share our podcast with your friends. If you'd like to hear more, hit that subscribe button. You can also follow us on our social media pages for updates, episode trailers, and other odds and ends. For more info and links on what we discussed on today's episode, check the show notes. We'll be back next week with another informative and fun-filled episode.